What came first? The music or the misery? People worry about kids playing with guns or watching violent videos, that some sort of culture violence will take them over. Nobody worries about kids listening to thousands, literally thousands of songs about heartbreak, rejection, pain, misery, and loss. Did I listen to pop music because I was miserable? Or was I miserable because I listened to pop music? My desert island all-time top 5 most memorable breakups in chronological order are as follows. Allison Ashmore, Penny Hardwick, Jackie Alden, Charlie Nicholson, and Sarah Kendrew. Those were the ones that really hurt. Did you see your name on that list, Laura? Maybe you'd sneak in. You thought you'd sneak in, huh? Maybe into the top 10? There's no room for you in the top 10. Not in the top 5. Sorry. Those places are reserved for the kind of humiliation and heartbreak that you're just not you're not capable of delivering. If you really wanted to mess me up, should have got to me earlier. Which brings us to 1 on the top 5 all-time breakup list, Allison Ashmore. You know, one moment they weren't there, not in any form that interested us anyway, and the next you couldn't miss them. They were everywhere, and they'd grown breasts. And all we wanted, actually, we didn't even know what we wanted, but it was something interesting. Disturbing even. My relationship with Allison Ashmore lasted 6 hours. 2 hours after school, before the Rockford Files, for 3 days in a row. About on the 4th afternoon, Kevin Bannister. It would be nice to think that since I was 14, times have changed. Relationships have become more sophisticated. Females less cruel. Skin's thicker. Instincts more developed. But there seems to be an element of that afternoon in everything that's happened to me since. All my romantic stories are a scrambled version of that first one. Now, number 2 on the top 5 all-time breakup list was Penny Hardwick. Now, Penny was great looking, and her top 5 recording artists were Carly Simon, Carole King, James Taylor, Cat Stevens, and Elton John. She was nice. Nice manners, nice grades, nice looking. She was so nice, in fact, that she wouldn't let me put my hand underneath, on top of her bra. Attack and defense, invasion, repulsion. It was as if breasts were like little pieces of property that had been unlawfully annexed by the opposite sex. They were rightfully ours, and we wanted them back. Sometimes I got so bored of trying to touch her breasts that I would try to touch her between her legs. That was like trying to borrow $1, getting turned down, and then asking for 50 grand instead. I wasn't interested in Penny's nice qualities, just breasts. And therefore, she was no good to me. So I started dating a girl who everyone said would give it up and who didn't. And Penny went with this asshole named Chris Thompson, who told me that he had sex with her after like 3 days or something. Yeah, number 3 in the top 5 all-time breakup list, Charlie Nicholson, sophomore year of college. As soon as I saw her, I realized she was the kind of girl I wanted to meet ever since I was old enough to want to meet girls. I mean, she was different. She was dramatic. She was exotic. And she talked about a lot. And when she talked, she said remarkably interesting things about music and books, films, and politics. And she talked a lot. And she liked me. She liked me. She liked me. At least I think she did. We went out for 2 years, and I never got comfortable. I mean, why would a woman like Charlie go out with me? I felt like a fraud. I felt like one of those people who suddenly shaved their heads and said they were always punks. I was sure I'd be discovered at any moment. And I worried about my abilities as a lover. And I was intimidated by other men in her design department and became convinced she was going to leave me for one of them. Then she left me for one of them. The dreaded Marco. And I lost it. Kind of lost it, you know? Faith, dignity, about 15 pounds. When I came to a few months later, I found to my surprise, I'd flunked out of school, started working at a record store. Some people never really get over the Dom or the night their band opened for Nirvana. I guess I never really got over Charlie. But the thing is, I learned from the whole Charlie debacle is you got to punch your weight. See, Charlie, she's out of my class. She's too smart, too pretty, too witty, too much. I mean, what am I? I'm a middleweight. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm certainly not the dumbest. I mean, I've read books like The Unbearable Lightness of Being and Love in the Time of Chloria. And I think I've understood them. They're about girls, right? just kidding. But I have to say, my all-time favorite book is Johnny Cash's autobiography, Cash, by Johnny Cash. Anyway, me and Charlie, we didn't match. Marco and Charlie matched. But me and Sarah, number 4 of all-time list, we matched. She'd just been dumped by some asshole named Michael, and I just been run over by Charlie. I mean, you know, it made sense to pool our collective loathing for the opposite sex, and while we're at it, we get to share a bed with someone at the same time. We're frightened of being left alone for the rest of our lives. And only people of a certain disposition are frightened of being left alone for the rest of their lives at 26. We were of that disposition. So when she told me she met someone else, it was contrary to the whole spirit of our arrangement. So how come I got dumped? Number 5, Jackie Alden. Jackie's breakup had no effect on my life whatsoever. It was a casual thing, and I was actually glad when it ended. I just slotted her in to bump Laura out of position. But now, congratulations, Laura. You made it to the top 5. Number 5, with a bullet. Welcome.